Hello, Roberta. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jake. How about yourself?
Staying busy, staying busy. It's awesome to finally get to see you again.
Yeah, no, it's great to see you. I appreciate you meeting with me. I understand your schedule's busy and I look forward to this coaching session.
Definitely. Well, I look forward to showing you a couple of things I think you can really get out of this. So the reason I made this meeting was because I wanted to see how you were doing, and I wanted to make sure that you were on track for success. If it's all right with you, I'm gonna now share the agenda that I made for us up today.
Please do.
Okay. So first, can you see it?
Yep, I can see it on my screen.
All right, so first, what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you a few questions so I can gain a better perspective of how things are going for you. I know you are newer at your role. Then I want to talk about setting a few goals for you to try to gain and try to complete by the end of the 2 quarters. And then I want to communicate with you what my expectations are regarding those goals, because I want to make them clear so you know how to achieve them and what we are expecting out of you. Then at the end, I want to set up another appointment where me and you can just set up a time where to talk about what you learned and where you've all progressed so far. Does that sound good?
Yeah, all that sounds great. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Let's get started then. First, I want to just ask a few questions so I can get a better understanding of how it's been so far. Have you had a chance to review your Q2 numbers yet?
You know, I have actually, and I want them to be higher than they are, but I'm happy I wasn't the lowest sales rep to say the least.
I understand that, but I thought personally they were pretty good numbers. I thought there was some positive highlights from your results, but I do think you can improve on it. But what specifically do you think went well or went bad this quarter?
You know, I think that my total calls were really my striving point. You know, I'm new to Striker and I really wanted to get my name out there and wanted to basically talk with it, but I am nervous being in this position and kind of getting used to it. I'd like to see my equipment sales go up, definitely. I think they're a little on the low side and they could have some improvement.
Okay. Um, yeah, I've been looking at them a little bit too, but I want to wait to get in a little bit about the nitty gritties and the numbers a little bit later. And for right now, I just want to ask you, now that Q3 has started, how do you plan on staying motivated towards achieving your quota and goals that have been set?
You know, being new to this position, I do have a lot of motivation, but like I said, I feel like I'm under high stress when I was in my last position. So I'm really not trying to be in that high stress position again. And I understand that there's a lot of customers in this area who felt neglected, and I hope that I can see that they see me as a respectable rep and feel comfortable coming to me for sales.
Well, that's very good that you're taking those additional steps and that you really do want to build those relationships. And I know that you are in charge of a territory that does experience a lot of rep turnover, and there has been a few customers who have complained about neglect. But how have you connected with these clients and tried to meet their expectations?
You know, I've tried to connect with them by my high sales calls. You know, I'm trying to constantly be talking to these people, be at my phone whenever I can, and try to be a quick learner, try to take everything I can in at this position and gain all the intelligence I can for people who have been here a little longer so that I can strive and be the best sales rep I can.
Well, that's an awesome attitude to take towards it. But I know you mentioned that you were a little bit stressed out in your last position and you felt overwhelmed. But what specifically about the job made you feel like that? Were you maybe undertrained? Did you not have something that do you feel like you didn't have something that allowed you to perform well, or what do you think?
You know, I really think it was the management that was over me, that was really giving me those stress levels. It just wasn't a right fit, and they were always piling me with work, and just, I just didn't fit into that position as well as I think I do here.
Would you say it was a more of like a hands-on training, or like they kind of just let you do your own thing and try to survive?
I would say it was more hands-on, you know. I mean, that goes with the kind of surviving thing too. Like, it was just kind of, I had to figure out what I was doing and kind of go with it.
Okay. Well, I know that you've been recently hired into this position, And I want to talk about how the transition's been going and move on to a little bit more about that later. But first, I want to talk about a little bit more about the numbers like we discussed. So let's pivot into talking about your Q2 numbers and how, from my perspective, you did this quarter. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so right now I have the Q2 numbers pulled up, and I saw you have a $43,000 in total sales. So your quota goal for this year is set at $120,000, which means you are around $77,000 short. Which means you're about 36% of your quota you've already received so far. Going forward, you need to make almost $80,000 in additional sales to meet this quota. I figured out some ways that I think I can really help you achieve this goal, and we can get a little bit deeper into that about this discussion.
Okay.
But first, congrats on selling $2,000 in equipment sales so far this month, which is almost about 20% of your total sales.
Thank you.
This
I
is one
appreciate
area
that.
no, definitely. This is one area that I think you're doing well at, especially to start, and I think it can be improved on more. Let's take some additional steps to moving forward. Does that sound good?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so I noticed that one area that was a little bit lower on your sheet was your closing rate. You're currently at a 30% closing rate, and we have a team average of 36%. So we need you to get your closing rate of about 6% higher to get you to that team rate, and that's one of the goals I want to give you this throughout this quarter. And I understand that you are new to this position and that you're not in the easiest territory, but I do believe you really can improve on that number. And with the goals laid out, I think you can really increase that number and meet your quota that you have set. Does that sound like achievable?
Yeah, I think that's achievable for me.
Yeah, it would only be about a 6% more closes, which really it sounds like a lot, but it's not. And if you get to that team average, you really will have a better chance of becoming a top performer.
Yeah, I tend to get a little impatient when I'm dealing with reps. I really want that big sale right off the bat, and I think that's maybe why my closing ratio is a little low.
Okay. Um, but I do know that you explained that you're having some trouble dealing with large number sales. Is that true?
Um, yeah, that is true. I came from an environment where $300 was a big sale. Here I am asking for thousands of dollars from my customers. So it's a little bit out of my comfort zone, and still being new to this position, I'm not quite comfortable with it yet.
Okay. Well, I think we can definitely help you out with that. After revising your numbers, I noticed that there are some areas for improvement. This does not worry me because I know you're an activator. You will do what needs to be done when something needs to be done. So if there's an objective, you will get it done. You're not just going to wait around or let it pass by. Like your activator is your number one skill, and I really do believe in that. If you can get your numbers to the team average in the next 2 quarters, you will be one of the top performers, or you will be close to becoming one of the star performers. So let me ask you a question. Are you committed to taking the next steps towards making improvements and advancing towards your goals?
Yes, of course I am. I really want to be the best I can in this position.
That's awesome to hear. We really want you. We think you have great potential to be the best, and we really want you to put that effort into becoming the best. But at this point, I want you to discuss some suggestions on how we plan on moving towards improving areas that we just discussed. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
So based on what we discussed earlier, I know that you are having trouble asking for those larger sales, and I think this is 100% possible for you to help get this number up a little bit higher. And after you do it successfully, I believe, after you successfully do this, I believe you will see your quarterly sales increase, and it will make it possible for you to meet your sales quotas. Can you see why this is such an important improvement?
Yeah, I could see how that could be an important improvement. And I'm going to try to strive to do it the best I can.
Okay. I think your closure rate has also been hurting due to the challenge of being comfortable when asking for these large sales. Because if you're not comfortable with asking for the sales, it's going to be really hard to close the sale, which we can both agree on, right?
Yeah, I could agree on that. And I think the uncomfortableness will kind of wear off as I get more years, more experience in this position.
Definitely. And I think there's a couple ways I can maybe help you get a little more comfortable, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I think this is something that we can solve by taking steps to get by getting you more comfortable by walking you into hospitals and surgery centers. And when you do have the comfortability to ask for these big sales, I know it's a lot bigger than your $300, but we know you can do it, and really want to see you do well. Um, But now I would like to show you exactly what it looks like if you were able to increase your performance in these areas. How does that sound? I'm going to give you an exact number to kind of walk through.
Okay, yeah, I'm really interested in that.
Okay, so first we notice that your sales per dollar call is not as high as the average. You are currently selling at $159, and which is about $110 lower than the average sale per call. Um, this might not look like a huge difference, but based on this example I'm about to show you, you'll really see that just a small increase of around $110 will really push you over to where you want to be. Um, so if you were to successfully increase call, your order per call, from $159 to around 160, you will see your total sales increase by 29,000,
Wow.
um, which is impressive. You can now see raising your total sales for this quarter to an impressive 72,000, which is around only 8,000 less than your goal you need. Can you see how accomplishing this increase? Can you see how this increasing your sales dollar per call will make it possible for you to accomplish these goals?
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, and if I could really make that much of an increase, I'd love to do it.
No, yeah, it would definitely be a huge increase, and it really wouldn't be that much of a change. It would really just be getting more comfortable, and I think we can definitely get you to that point. But next, I want to discuss your closing rate. So you're currently closing at 30%, which is 6% lower than the rate we talked about. The team average is 36. If you were able to reach that 36% per se, if you got that 6%, if you reach that 6% goal we were talking about, you will roughly close 15 more deals just on that 6%, which will get you to, in terms of dollars, if your current order is $500 an order, in this 6% increase, so this 6 times the 500, you're going to have almost $8,000 just in total sales increase off of 15 sales.
Wow.
That's a pretty large number off of just 15 small changes. Can
No,
you see how increasing your closing rate, even to the team's average of 36, which should be 6% higher, will produce a larger increase in your total sales?
for sure. Yeah, I could see how that could get me closer to reaching my yearly sales quota.
Okay, so based on the numbers we just talked about, and if we go back to where we first started, you're currently at 43,000 for the first 2 quarters. So if we add up the two numbers we talked about at the when we just calculated the 7,000 and the, what was it, 72,000. If you add those up together, it'll be roughly $80,000. That would be your total sales if you made that 6% increase, which would lead to 15 more calls, and if you change your closing rate call by $140 per call more, which would really get you towards becoming one of the top performers. Is it clear how making these improvements in these areas could really help meet expectations?
Yeah, no, I never thought of it this way, and I'm glad you're kind of putting it into a detailed, simple version for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to just break it down so you can see how the changes will actually affect your numbers and get you really to your goal. If that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense.
Okay, so now let's talk about what I expect out of these goals. So, but I want to start by talking about, I understand that you did not have the most conventional way of training. You were trained on email, and you felt, like you said and explained earlier, overwhelmed and just overall stressed out. You didn't feel like you were ready for the role, or maybe just you didn't have all the training and tools that you really needed to have to be able to reach your goals, correct?
Yeah, that's spot on.
Okay, so what I want to do for you then is, I know that you missed being able to go out with a sales representative and learn kind of what they do in the field. So I want to be able to put you with one of our rock stars named Carl. He's been a top performer for the last couple years, and I really think he would be able to show you some really awesome skills from one day of shadowing. We want you to be able to go there, and I expect you to watch what he does, learn what he does, kind of get the tools of what he does to become a rock star, and then I want you to implement after that into your own strategies those tools so you can become your own rock star. And that, I think, will really allow you to become just a great member of this team.
No, I look forward to that.
So he's gonna I told him to focus on 3 things when he does see you. He's gonna help you increase your sales dollars per call. He's gonna help raise your equipment rate, and he's gonna help you get your closing rate higher so you can close more deals and feel comfortable about making them large decisions. Does that sound like it would be okay to you?
Yeah, that sounds perfect for me. It's what I've always wanted, and I look forward to meeting up with Carl.
Okay, awesome. Well, I want to ask you directly, can you commit to increasing your sales calls by $140 per call and increasing your closing rate by that 6% by the end of the quarter?
I'm still a little uncomfortable with it, but I'm gonna try my best. I really do think I can make those numbers.
Okay, well, I'm very glad that you're willing to take the effort and put a little bit of skin in the game and learn a little bit more about what we do and how you can become your own rock star. And I really think it will help you out. But before we finish, I want to set up a follow appointment with you for next month regarding what you learned from Carl and just how everything's going with you, because it'll be your third quarter here at Striker, and we really want to see how you're doing. We care. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, that's all right with me.
Okay. I'm looking at my schedule now. Does March 21st around 2 p.m. work?
Let me double check. Yeah, I can fit that in. I think it'll work perfect.
Alrighty. So let's plan on meeting March 21st at 2:30 p.m. to talk about a little bit of a progress report. But I really enjoyed talking to you today and taking the one-on-one time, and I really look forward to seeing you grow. And I'm eager to talk about your progress next month.
Thank you, Jake. I appreciate you taking time out of your business day to give me some of these helpful tips, and I really do think I'll be able to make those improvements.
Well, thank you very much, Roberta, for showing up to this call and really taking it and giving as much as you can out of it. Have a good one.
You as well.